Good day, everyone. My name is Wasku Smart FX. Welcome to our today's program. The title before us is Managing Emotions During Drawdowns, because this topic is a very crucial topic to everyone. It's a very crucial topic to everyone, whether you are a beginner or you are a pro. It's a very crucial topic. Managing emotions during drawdowns, because drawdowns are not a possibility in trading. They are certainty in a sense that it's something that do happens. It's something that you can't, there's no way you can actually neglect that aspect. Everyone is going to have a taste of this drawdown. So it is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when, because that's what makes this journey a straightened one, or that will make you to stay in this journey for a very long time, is the ability to understand your own emotion. Is the ability to understand your emotion. You know, there's a word that people say, they say something like trading is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. Yes, that is very, very true. That is very, very true. Trading is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. So in a sense that the psychology part of trading has more power, has more influence to make us a winner or a loser in the market. So talking about managing emotion during drawdowns, it is a topic that every trader needs to understand, or is a topic that is very, very unique and is a standard topic for every trader, whether you are a beginner or a pro trader. So drawdowns in the forex market, it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when, because it is going to happen eventually. So when that time comes, when the market go against you, when your system experience a dip, when your equity curve bends downwards, what will you do? So the particular point of the emotional stability is known when you begin to have a dip, when you begin to have a loose. So at that particular time, what will you do? How will you be able to handle them? How will you be able to come out of that deep curves, and you are going to come up as a winner? So how will you manage your mind when your money is misbehaving? How will you manage your mind when you are seeing losses on your trading, when you begin to have losses on your trading? You know, it's very easy to call yourself a good trader when you are having a winning. Like you're having a winning, you are not having losses, no losing streaks, nothing, just having a winning. You can call yourself a good trader, but that winning time is not what really defines you as a good trader. What defines you as a good trader is when you begin to have a lose and you still maintain your emotion, you maintain your old skills, even though you are in a losing time. So those are the moments that make you a real trader. So when we talk about drawdown is not just for people. It's not just for people that are beginners, or people that are going through a lot in their trading. Everybody is going to experience drawdown. Everybody experience drawdown, whether you are the pro trader or the beginners trader. Everybody is going to experience drawdown. So I just want to give this introduction for you to understand that drawdowns are not is things that you don't. There's no how you can say, okay, I don't want to have a drawdown, except you don't want to become a trader. You only want to become a gambler. Only a gambler don't have a drawdown. A gambler only have a lose, and that lose is going to blow out the account once. But as a trader, we are permitted, or it's not even we are permitted, it's a certainty that we are going to have a drawdown because we apply risk management, and there are times that trading is not going to go our way. So our emotion must be intact. Okay, the first topic we'll be looking at under this subject, the first topic we'll be looking at is understanding drawdowns, because we need to first understand what drawdowns is. I talked about psychology the other time. So psychology is just about understand the mind and behavior. So your own psychology, you need to understand your mind and your behavior. You see, when people talk about psychology, people just talk about the mind. They talk about the emotion part. They don't know that your behavior, your mindset, your belief, all these things comes together to make up your psychology. And psychology is not just a phenomenon of just talking about emotion. It's actually a phenomenon of studying your own mind, studying your own emotion, studying the way you behave. Yes, because the way you behave before you become a trader is opposite to the behavior of a trader. I hope you understand that part. Like, before you become a trader, before you tell to yourself, I want to become a forex trader, the way you behave, your behavior, your thinking, mindset, everything about you is opposite to what a trader have to be. Because in the world there, you can feel like, okay, this thing, we use our emotions according to what is happening to us in the world. But when you become a trader, you cannot actually use that anymore, because you must not let your feelings get to you as a trader. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be emotionally intelligent. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about understanding drawdowns. Let's begin with clarity. What is drawdown? Okay, if I even ask a question, what is drawdown? A drawdown is a decline in your trading account from its peak to a trough. So drawdown is a measure of loss. It's either it is temporary or it is prolonged, but it is a measure of loss. So that happens as part of trading journey. So it is a part of trading journey. Drawdown is a part of trading journey. Drawdown is not only about your equity being reduced, or your money being having a lose. Drawdown is not just about your losing. Drawdown can be emotional, your mental, and your financial. So, and this is how it goes. In the forex market, there is a saying that the forex market is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. Now, drawdown can be emotional, mental, or financial. So when you have a drawdown emotionally, there are times you feel like, oh, you are stable. There are times you feel like, yes, I can do this thing. There are times you are strong. There are times you are strengthened. Yeah, those times is you are top of your emotions. Yeah, you have the strength. You have the strength emotionally. You have the strength, and mentally you have this mindset of a winner. So those times you are top of your game. You have this mindset. But the moment you begin to experience drawdowns, both emotionally and mentally, is going to directly affect your financial drawdown. Do you understand what I said? If you have drawdown emotionally, either something happened to you and it affects your emotions, it's going to affect the way you see the market, and it's going to affect you financially, because you are going to have a lose if you have drawdown emotionally. And if you have drawdown mentally, if you have drawdown mentally, it's going to affect you emotionally, and it's going to affect you financially. But this is the key here. If you have a drawdown financially, it is not going to affect you emotionally, and it's not going to affect you mentally. But there's a possibility that it's going to affect you. There's a possibility, if you don't know how to manage it well, it's going to affect you. But financially, drawdown is not so strong than emotional and mental drawdown. So that is why they said the psychology part is a very, very important part. So you need to understand your emotion, you need to understand your mind. Yes, you need to understand your behavior. Those are very, very important things you need to understand. Okay, this is the truth here. Drawdowns do not destroy traders. Drawdowns do not destroy traders. Emotional reaction to drawdowns do. So which means that your drawdowns is not what destroy you, it's not what make you a loser, it's not what make you someone that cannot actually attain this pro level. What destroy you is the reaction, is the emotional reaction. When you have a drawdown, okay, let's say for example, you have a winning streak, you have like 3 wins on a row, and you are enjoying the trading, but the moment you have the first losing trade, there is a possibility that you begin to have this emotional disability, like you want to make your money back. They call it a revenge trade. So one of the ways you can know that you are trading emotionally or you are having this emotional reaction is when you look into your trading log and you see that every time you have a losing trade, the second trade that comes after the losing trade is going to be a lose. Then that is the point you know that is a reactional trade, because there's a possibility that whenever a trader loses a trade, the second trade is going to take again is going to be a losing trade because of emotional disability. So whenever a trader loses a trade, they don't usually have this cool mindset. They don't usually calm themselves down to wait for the next good trade. They always want to, like, okay, let me just get my money back. And eventually they will lose the other trade. So one of the ways you can know that you are trading based on emotional reaction is when you have a losing trade and the next trade you took again, you have a losing trade. So that is one of the ways you can know, because research shows that whenever a trader loses a trade, the next trade again is going to lose it. Because of what? Because of emotional disability. So whenever you have to know this truth, that drawdowns do not destroy traders. Drawdowns cannot destroy you, but emotional reactions to drawdowns will destroy you, because the way you react to it will destroy you. Okay, for example, you have a losing trade, you have 5 losing trade on a go, so, and you risk 1% of your account per trade, so which means that you have 5% drawdown, and you did not have emotional reaction to your trade because you want to get your money back. So you calm yourself down and you look for a good trade, and the trade you took is 2%. That's, you're having a RRR of 1 to 2, so you target 2% profit. So when you hit the 2% profit, it immediately cancel out a 2 losses you have in the past. So you can actually see that when we talk about trading, it is not really about the strategy, and it's not really about the strategies is very important, but what makes you a success in the forex market is not really about the strategy. It is about your psychology. It is about your emotional, the way you understand yourself, the way you understand your emotion and your mind. Because if you have 10 losing trades on a row without you having to overthink or without you having to do emotional reaction, there is a possibility that in the next 4 or 3 winning trade, you are going to recover all the 10 trade lose. So therefore, it means that it is not really about the drawdowns. What happens is the emotional reaction to the drawdowns. So we need to understand that the drawdowns is not what destroys the traders. What destroys traders is the emotional reaction. What do you think after losing? How do you react to the losing? Do you react badly? Do you calm yourself and say, okay, it is well, or let me find out what happened to the losing trade? The moment we begin to act emotionally balanced, that is the moment our trading begin to see the high peak of improvement, because we need to enter into this understanding that the drawdown does not destroy traders. I just want you to say this continually to yourself every morning. Drawdowns do not destroy traders. Emotional reaction to drawdowns do, because we need to understand our emotion. Okay, so that is understanding drawdowns. So that is the understanding of drawdowns. The next topic is the emotional storm. The emotional storm. So I talked about this when I was talking about the drawdowns too. So let me paint the picture. You were winning trade last week. Confidence was high. You increased your loss size. But this week, back-to-back loses. Now, fear step in, doubt enters. You start questioning your strategy, your skills, even your identity. You see, when you begin to win trade, you will have this mindset, this confidence will come, everything will come. But when you begin to lose the trade, now when you begin to have a back-to-back loses, you begin to fear begin to come in, doubt begin to come in, you begin to question your strategy and your skills, even your identity. You begin to ask yourself questions like, am I really a good trader? Can I really do these things? Don't forget, the reason why you are asking yourself questions, the reason why fear begins to come in and doubt is because you have a losing trade. You are having a back-to-back losing trade, and you begin to question yourself, and you begin to have emotional disabilities. So you start hearing your inner voice like, maybe I am not cut out for this. What if I never recover? I have lost too much to stop now. Maybe I should double down. Then you begin to have questions just because you have a losing trade. Now, this is it here. Stop thinking. Stop hearing all those inner voices. You have to, one of the ways you can get through with this psychology part is that you need to stop every question that comes, every doubt, every fear. You need to make sure that you stop it. And people do ask questions like, how do I stop these things? But you need to understand that you have the power over yourself. You have the power over your mind. You need to caution your mind. That is one of the first steps of being a good trader. Ability to have power over your mind. Ability to have power over your emotion. That you are not a reactionary trader. That is the first step. You need to have power over your mind and your emotions. And that is why I said something from the beginning that everything you are before you become a trader is opposite to what you need to become. Is opposite to what you need to become a trader. So which means that all this emotional disability, all this unmindfulness, all this unnecessary thinking, all this doubts, all this fear, it is not accepted. You can't become a good trader with all these features, with all these characteristics. So the first step of being a good trader is the ability to have control over your own mind. That is one of the things you can control. Okay, you have a lose. Tell yourself it is fine. Tell yourself, oh, losses is accepted in trading. You can't do without lose. You can't do without lose. Yes, you can't do without lose as a forex trader. You need to understand this. You need to caution your mind to this. You can't do without lose. Tell yourself every morning you can't do without lose. But your strategy, your edge, is what makes you not to have a lose every time. Because you have the edge, you have a strategy, then you should not be having a consecutive lose every time. So your losses can be mitigated, your losses can be controlled. But as a forex trader, you can't do without lose. Now, what makes you a bad trader is the way you reacted after having that lose. That's what makes you a bad trader. Okay, so I said the other time that whenever you have a lose and you begin to have questions, you begin to have doubt and fear, the thing you have to do is stop. These are not the voices of wisdom. These are the voices of emotional sabotage. So whenever you begin to have fear, whenever you begin to have doubt, those are not the voice of wisdom. They are the voice of emotional sabotage. So you just need to stop and make sure that you don't ask yourself questions. You don't think too much about those losses. Yeah, because that's also one of the things that makes trader enter into a big drawdowns. They begin to think about the losses. There's something called in psychology, there's something called the cognitive psychology. Whenever you have one emotional, you have one emotion, whether you are happy. Happiness is good, right? Yes, you can be happy. Happiness is good. But whenever you begin to take two or more emotions together, you begin to even over happiness can give you a drawdown in the forex market. Like you are too over happy about something, can give you drawdown in the forex market also. So you must caution your emotions and make sure that you are in the right mindset before you take a trade. Ask yourself a question: am I taking this trade based on my plan, or am I taking this trade based on my emotional reaction? Emotional reaction comes when you feel like you are not enough, when you feel like you cannot do this thing more, like you want to just try to recover the losses without any plan. That is when the emotional reaction comes in. Okay, the third topic we'll be talking today, like under the subject, is the battlefield is the mind. The battlefield is the mind. Okay, in trading, the battle is not on the chart. Yeah, when I said this thing, a lot of people be like, oh, then why do a lot of people always focus more on the chart? No, the battle is not on the chart. The real battle is between your ears, in your mind. That is where the real battle is. The battlefield of forex market or the forex trading is not on the chart. It's not on the chart. It's in your mind. You can see a trade now, and the trade follows your plan. And instead of you to take the trade and be like, okay, let me take this trade, and you begin to have doubts, you begin to have questions in your mind. Is this trade really a good trade? Can I really take this trade? Is this trade going to be a winning trade? Like, you begin to have doubts, you begin to have fear, then eventually you do not take the trade, you just keep the trade aside. And when you keep the trade aside, eventually the trade take profits. You see, the reason why you not take the trade is because of your mind, is because of your thoughts, is because of your thinking, is because of your belief. All these things resided in the soul of a man. So which means that everything still lies in your mind. It is not really about the chart. Okay, there are times that you saw a trade, or you see a trade, and the trade is going your way, and you are like, okay, let me fast and close the trade. Like, you wanted to close the trade, you close the trade early, and eventually the trade goes to take profit, and you be like, oh, I should have left the trade alone. Do you know why? It is not really about the chart. It is about your mind. It is you that don't have the right mindset to be a good forex trader. A good forex trader is about the mind. It's about a man that have cultivated his mind and has become someone that has put his mind under torture. Before you can be a good forex trader, you must have control over your mind and your emotion. When it comes to the forex market, it doesn't. The real battlefield is not on the chart. It's not really about. It's not much about the charts. It is more about your mind. You can see a winning trade. You can lose a winning trade. People do ask questions. How did I lose a winning trade? Yes, you can lose a winning trade because you can follow your plan, take a trade, and the moment the trade begin to reverse opposite your direction, and you begin to fear, you begin to doubt the trade, and eventually you close the trade in lose, and the trade goes back to your take profit without hitting your stop loss. You lose a winning trade. Yes, it is possible because of your mind. So one of the ways we can become a good forex trader is when we begin to cultivate our mind. That is the part people don't talk about. Whenever you see any forex trader that is up there, that is on the top, it is not about the charts. It is about the mind. Most of them don't usually have a good risk-reward ratio. Most of them don't usually have a good winning trade, but they do have a consistent mind cultivating habit. So as a trader, first thing we need to do is that we need to cultivate our mind. We need to make sure that we are feeding our intellect. And one of the ways to cultivate your mind is to feed your intellect. Find more knowledge, find more knowledge, find more knowledge. Knowledge is very, very important. Find more knowledge, find more knowledge. The knowledge you are looking for is not really about strategy. The knowledge you are looking for is about how to make your mind a stable place, because your mind is where the battlefield is. I hope everyone understands what I'm saying, because I just have to bring it this way. So this is the word here. In trading, the battle is not on the charts. The real battle is between your ears. What you hear and is in your mind. The real battle is in your mind. And there's a Proverbs 23 verse 7. There's in the Bible verse we have, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23 verse 7. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is what the Bible says. So everything is about your mindset. You want to become a winning forex trader? Yes. But this is the key here. You can't be a consistent winning forex trader for a very long time. You are going to have a lose. And when you have a lose, how do you react to the lose? It's very, very important. How you react to the lose is very, very important. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So the way you see yourself, okay, you enter a trade, you see yourself, okay, this thing I can actually attain it. Everything is about your mind. So during drawdowns, there are three enemies that will show up. Whenever you are in the drawdowns, there are three enemies that will show up. The first enemy that will show up is fear. You begin to so the first enemy that will show up is fear. You begin to scared, like you are afraid to take the next trade, because when you begin to have back-to-back losses, I won't lie to you, you begin to fear, like fear begin to comes. You begin to you are afraid to take the next trade. That is the first enemy that will come, because taking the next trade will be very difficult for you. You'll be so scared to take the next trade. But I want to tell you one thing: as long as it is according to your plan, take the next trade. Take the next trade. And that is one of the things we talked about. How you can be able to become a good forex trader is when you have that control over your mind. And one of the ways you can show that you have control over your mind is when you begin to have back-to-back losses and you still show up the next day, and you still show up the next day without having any iota of fear in you. So the next enemy that will show up is anger. You start revenging trades to get back at the market. We start doing revenging trades to get back at the market. The next enemy that will come is the SPY. You give up, abandon trade, and sink deeper. You see, this third enemy is actually one of the most worst enemy in drawdown. And if you cannot control this third enemy, which is the SPY, it will be very, very difficult for you to become a standard and a pro trader. You see, when you see the enemy of the SPY will tell you that, oh, my strategy is not enough. My strategy is not good enough. You will begin to look for the next big strategy in the market. You begin to look for the next big mentor, and you begin to learn the strategy again. So which means that whenever the SPY comes, you will go back to level 1. Level 1 is learning a new strategy. So don't let the third enemy, which is called the SPY, to take you away from being a good trader. Because when the SPY comes, it will let you to be in a cycle. The cycle is called the losing cycle. The losing cycle is when you lose a trade, you go back to learn a new strategy. You lose a trade in that strategy, you go back to learn a new strategy, you lose a trade again. So you begin to learn strategy, learn new strategy. That cycle can never make you a good trader. Learn one strategy, stay with it. When it's having a losing, learn why you have a lose. Stay with the strategy. Don't let the SPY. The SPY will let you to give up. We let you to abandon strategy, and when you abandon the strategy, you will go and learn a new one, and you will begin to sink more and more. You will begin to lose trade more and more, because the new strategy you go to learn, now you are now a beginner to that new strategy. So you will have to learn it again, and learning a new strategy can take you months. So you begin to enter the losing cycle. You need to be content with your strategy. You have to understand that your strategy won't give you a winning trade. So when you have a losing trade, take it as a losing trade. Then understand why you have a losing trade. You need to understand that losing you cannot prevent losing in the market. You can only prevent your account being blown out. And that is why there's risk management. If losing can be prevented, there will never be a thing like risk management. Do you understand? So you must learn to recognize these emotional visitors and deny them access. So whenever you're having a losing trade, you must learn to recognize them. So when you're having a drawdowns, you need to first calm yourself down, understand your emotion, understand what is happening with you right now. So that is the only way. Mindfulness is the only way to recognize all these emotional visitors. They are bad emotional visitors whenever you are losing a trade. And it can also happen to you when you are winning a trade. Because when you are winning a trade back to back, you are having a winning streak, you begin to overconfidence, you begin to have this ego. Yes, ego will begin to set in. So when ego sets in and when overconfidence sets in, it can bring you back to losing streaks. So one of the things to become a good forex trader is to understand your emotion and learn, because I need to put this learn. You need to learn to control your emotion. It is not easy to control your mind. That is why you see all these Buddhism, they usually do something called yoga. And yoga is one of the ways to control and subsidize your mind to be in a calm place, because it is not easy. There is a spirit that worketh in all minds. So we need to learn that this word itself is a spiritual word. It's a spiritual word, and we need to understand something. I usually say that the physical is created by the spiritual. So the spiritual has more influence on the physical. So one of the ways we need to become a good forex trader is to control our mind and ability to be able to understand ourselves. So everything still comes down to ourselves. We need to understand who we are. So the part 4 is now, after we understand what drawdown is all about, after we understand the emotions behind it, after we understand the emotional behind the drawdowns, now how can we practical strategy to manage? How can we now manage our emotions? How can we manage it? So let's talk about the practical strategies to manage emotions. Okay, let me give you a real tools that are the practical weapons. Number 1, have a pre-written drawdown plan. Like, have a pre-written drawdown plan. So you write something and be like, okay, when drawdown comes, this will be the plan. This will be the plan I'll be following when drawdown comes. So know what you will do before it happens. So before drawdown comes, because when I was doing the introduction, I talked about that drawdowns is inevitable. Like, it's something that we cannot do it as a forex traders. There will be a season of drawdowns. So what matters is how you control it, how you be able to put yourself in charge of the drawdowns. So first thing is, know what you will do before it happens. Limit the daily and the weekly losses. Say limit the daily and the weekly losses. Have rules for when to stop trading. So you need to have a rules for when to stop trading and when to reevaluate. So you need to have rules for when to stop trading. Okay, maybe I will stop trading for a day or for a week when I have 2 to 3 losses on a row. So when you have these rules, it's going to help you so that when you are going through a drawdowns, it will not really affect you much. So you need to have a rules. And so you need to understand that he who fails to plan to fail. He who fails to plan to fail. So the reason, because we do not want to fail. And I only say one thing: plan the trade and trade the plan. But you need to understand that he who fails to plan to fail. So you need to plan how you need to control the drawdown when it comes. So it's not that when drawdown comes, that is when you will begin to run up and down, begin to try to look for how to control the drawdown. So you need to have a pre-written plans on how to control the drawdowns. So the number 2 practical weapon is lower your risk. So whenever you are in a drawdown, how to manage the drawdowns? Number 1, I said have a pre-written drawdown plans. So you need to have a plan. Number 2 is lower your risk. No matter who you are, no matter, even if you are a pro trader, whenever you are in a drawdown, make sure you lower your risk, because it's going to help your emotional strength. It's going to help you your emotional strength, because a 2% risk per trade feel very different emotionally compared to 10% per trade. So maybe before the drawdown happens, you are risking 10% of your account. But when the drawdowns happen, you begin to have consistent losses back to back. Now, reduce your risk per trade. So maybe from 10%, you can reduce it to 2%, or maybe from 1% before, you can reduce it to 0.5%. So this one will help you to help your emotional strength. It will help you to be emotional capable of these things. So doing drawdowns reduce your position size, so it will protect your mental capital. So one of the ways you can manage it is that doing drawdowns, whenever you're in a drawdown, reduce your position size, and that is the same thing as your risk. Reduce it so that you can protect your mental capital. We talked about 3 things from the introduction part where a trader needs to protect. Number 1 is your emotional. You need to protect your emotion. You need to protect your mental capital. You need to protect your financial capital. You need to protect your emotion. You need to protect your mental and you need to protect your financial. So these three things are the three most important things to every forex trader. The three most important things to every forex trader is your mental, your emotion, and your finances. It's very, very important. So the third weapon to manage your emotion during drawdown is detach identity from results. Detach identity from results. What I meant by it is that you are not your losing trade. So that's one of the ways to detach your identity from result. You are not your trading results. If you are having a losing on your trading, that is not who you are. You need to understand that first, because a lot of people, whenever they are having a losing trade, they begin to call themselves names like, "Oh, I am a failure." So this name they are calling themselves, or this identity they are giving to themselves, will really destroy their mental health. It will destroy. They will begin to look down on themselves. So you need to understand that you are not your trading results. So even if you're having a winning streak, that is not who you are. If you're having a losing streak, that is not who you are. You need to understand that. Detach your identity from results. That's the first thing you need to do. A losing streak does not mean you are a loser. That is not what means you are a loser. And focus on executing your plan, not pleasing your emotions. So you need to focus on executing your plan. That's the third part you can manage your emotion, is that detach identity from results. A losing streak does not mean you are a loser. So you need to focus on executing your plan, not pleasing your emotion. You don't need to please your emotion. Execute your plan, whether your emotion agreed or not. And that is why I said it from the beginning, that one of the ways you can become a good forex trader is when you begin to have control over your emotion, when you begin to have control over your mind. So, and these things, it is easy to say, it is very, very difficult to do, because there is something called the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is not a thing you can actually program. It's a thing that is being programmed over things you are doing consistently. Your subconscious mind. So having control over your mind is a very, very disciplined thing. It's a thing that you need to discipline yourself to do. Both your mind and both your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. But your subconscious mind is a very important part when it comes to having control over your mind. So we talked about focus on executing your plan, not pleasing your emotion. You need to focus on executing your plan. The fourth ways to manage your emotion during drawdowns is step away to recharge. Step away to recharge. Give yourself holiday. Give yourself time to rest. Yes, step away. Give yourself breaks. Okay, maybe your mental health is already on edge, like you have been trading for a very long time consistently. You need to give yourself time to rest. You can just give yourself 1 week break to just don't think about trading, just focus on other things of life. So give yourself time to go for breaks, that you can actually go and look at your trading strategy very well. So that's one of the things you can manage your emotion during drawdowns. Take breaks. It's very, very important. So take a walk, journal your thoughts, talk to a mentor or a community, just like Wasku Smart FS community. You talk to a community, talk to a mentor, stay with a community, stay with a mentor, so that during drawdowns you can have somebody to talk to, you can have somebody to share your emotions with. So those are one of the ways to recenter yourself before coming back to the chat. So whenever you're having a drawdown, step away, take a walk, do other things to focus your mind on. Learn to So everything still come down to your mindset, because all this exercise is just a way to help yourself take a walk and be in a good mind, like center yourself before coming back to the chat. So the last way you can manage your emotion is review, do not react. Review, do not react. So analyze trade with a clear head. So always take a review. So review means do not react, follow your plan. Just try to write down your plan and always follow your plan. Analyze the trade with a clear head. Make sure that before you take a trade, ask yourself question: am I reacting or I follow my plan? So don't react to trades. If you miss a trade, it is fine. Let it go. But don't react to trade. Reaction is very, very bad. You see a lot of people do react. They do. You see people do stacking. Yeah, they do reaction with stacking. Most of them don't show you they are losing time, because when they have the losing, they don't show you. But when they have the winning, they do show the winning, and people be like, "Oh, this is good." So you need to learn to review. Do not react. So was it your strategy that failed or your discipline? So you need to review everything. Okay, you having a drawdown, review. Ask yourself question: is it my strategy that failed or my discipline? Because most time it is not actually about the strategy, it's not about the chart. It is your discipline that fails, and that is what he talks about when we're talking about the enemies of drawdowns. So use drawdown as teacher, not tormentors. So let drawdown be a teacher to you. Whenever you're having a drawdown, just know that, okay, it is time for me to study more. It is time for me to understand myself more. Don't let drawdowns torment you. Don't let drawdown bring you down. Don't let drawdown to discourage you. So you need to make sure, you need to use drawdown as a lifter, not a put down. So I need to understand this. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So no matter the drawdowns, you need to understand that fear is an enemy. Fear is an enemy. Tell this to yourself. Fear is an enemy. Don't give space for fear. So trading valleys are real, but so are the mountaintops. So he said, even though I walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. That's Psalm 23 verse 4. So I want to tell you that the trading valleys are real. Yeah, there are days of drawdowns, there are days of losses. But you need to focus yourself, focus your mindset, focus your eyes on the mountaintops. There is also a winning prize. There is also people that are making it in billions in the forex market. So that is where you need to focus yourself to. So trading valleys are real, but so are the mountaintops. So in life and in markets, God allows valley to build character, patience, and discipline. So you need to make sure that you use the drawdown as a lifter. It is a way to build your character, your patience, and your disciplines. So your trading journey will be tested, but if you faint not, if you hold on, if you stay disciplined, you will rise again. So you need to understand is that your trading journey will be tested. There will be a lot of stumbling blocks. There will be a lot of things that want to discourage you. But remember that if you faint not, if you hold on, if you stay disciplined, you will rise again. Because if you look at all the top traders in the market right now, they also have a story. So before a glory, there's a story. So everyone have a story, everyone have a drawdown moment. So, but one thing they did is that they don't let the drawdown moment to pull them down. So as for you also, don't let the drawdown moment to pull you down. Always make sure that you are top of your game. So no matter the drawdown, rise your head up and lift it up again. You can also do it. Everybody have the drawdowns. You can also do it and rise again. So in conclusion, the drawdown or the drawback is a setup for the comeback. So the drawback is a setup for the comeback, because if you have a drawdown, is a way to reset yourself and fire yourself up again. So you need to understand that the drawback is a setup for the comeback. So let me end it with this. Every professional trader you admire has faced diversity drawdowns. So every professional trader, every top trader you admire today, once in their life, they once faced a drawdown. But one thing that makes them professional and top trader is that they don't give up on their drawdowns. So the difference is not that they avoided the pain, it is that they manage it well. They did not avoid the pain, but they manage it well. So they kept showing up, kept learning, kept trading the plan. Your emotional discipline is your trading superpower. Your emotional discipline is your trading superpower. You can do it. You need to focus more on your emotion the same way you focus more on the charts. So don't forget, psychology is 80% of the success in the forex market. So you need to focus more on the psychology rather than focusing more on the chart. So the same way you focus more on the chart, focus more on your emotional discipline. Your emotional discipline is your trading superpower. That is your power. Every top trader you see today, they build their emotional discipline. So I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself right now that you have billions of dollars as your trading equity, as your trading balance. Now, imagine the drawdown you are having. Right now, you may be managing a $200 account and you have a drawdown of $100 and you are crying and you are losing up. You are becoming emotional reaction. You are reacting emotionally. Now, imagine you have $100 billion as your account balance and you have a drawdown of $2 billion. Imagine. So this moment is going to build you for the top time. So when you have a big trading account, the moment of how you do it when you are small, when you're having a small trading account, is going to be the same way you will do it when you have a big trading account. So don't despise the days of small. Build yourself up today. Focus more on your emotional discipline. Focus more on it. Focus more on it. It is very, very important. It is what makes you a good and a perfect forex trader. Your emotional discipline. Focus more on it. That's it. So that's that. And I hope with this little wash, we are able to talk about managing emotion during drawdowns and how you can be able to prevent it. So let us go. Let's master ourselves. Let us win long time. So you need to understand, let your faith be stronger than your fear. Let your process be louder than your panic. And let your vision carry you beyond the valley. Let your faith be stronger than your fear. Whenever you are feeling fear, that is why journaling your trade and journaling your emotion is very important. Whenever fear comes in, when you're having a drawdown, what you need to do is that go back to your journals, how you journal your trade, go back to it and read the moment you are having a winning trade. So it's going to build your faith. It's going to build your faith. It's going to let you to have much faith so that you can overcome the fear in the days of drawdowns. So let your faith be stronger than your fear. Let your process be louder than your panic. Whenever you are panicked, whenever you are in doubt, trust your plan. Trust your trading plan. It works. Don't give up on it. So let your process be louder than your panic and let your vision carry you beyond the valley. The way your vision can carry you beyond the valley is when you have a vision. Why do you start the forex market? Why do you start the trading? Why? So the why. So you need to let your why be stronger than your how. So when your why is stronger, when you are in the days of drawdowns, your why is going to take you over it, because what you are looking out for is stronger than what you are experiencing right now. You want to become a 6 figures forex trader, and now you are having a drawdown with your $200 account. Don't give up. You can still do it. So let your vision be clear and stated. Let it be clear and big, so that today $200 will not pull you down to attain your goal. So that is it. Let your vision carry you beyond the valley. So that's the message for today. you have a question. Yes, question. So this is the question and answer time. So if you have a question, just press the raising of hand button, and I will allow you to ask your question. Anybody with question? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, boss. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, ask your question. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so grateful for this class this morning. It's really helped me because I've been going through a very deep drawdown, and I can't even lie. Everything you've mentioned is what happened to me. So my question now is that anytime I face big drawdowns, like I lose. Okay, so from last night to this morning, I lost almost 300,000 naira, and it's really weighed me down. And I'm thinking that okay, where next will I even be able to make that kind of money, or where next will I be able to get that kind of capital to recover back? So how do I overcome that kind of thinking? Because I anytime that kind of thing happened to me, I used to feel like there is no hope. That and you know that it takes money to make those money that you've lost back. So how do I overcome this?
Okay. Um, Thank you so much for the question. We talked about the battlefield is the mind. You know, whenever we lose our money, there is this. I talked about the three enemies that will rise up. The first enemy is fear, the second is anger, and the third is spy. You see, what rises up is you were thinking that okay, how can I make the money back? You wanted to make the money back. You were focusing on the money you lost. And one thing is that the moment you focus on something, it becomes expanded. Like you are focusing on the money you lost before. So you find yourself that you begin to lose more. You begin to lose more. One of the ways you can come out of it is that whenever you lost the money, that money is gone. Forget about that part. The one you have left, make a plan on how to grow it. So that is one of the ways you can stable your mental health. Because if you focus on the money you have lost, you will begin to lose more. And you see that as time goes on, you will blow your accounts. Because you are focusing on, I want to recover, I want to recover. Revenge trade will begin to come in. Whenever you lost the money, that is part of your institution fee in the market. Just accept your loss. Accept it. Don't drag with the market. Don't fight with the market. Accept your loss and focus on the next trade. Because one of the things is that you need to make sure that your emotion is stable. You don't overthink. Clear your mind and focus on the next trade. When the next trade comes, put reduce your risk and take the next trade. When you have a win, then start planning on how to grow your account, not planning on how to recover your money. Because if you plan on recovering the money, you will lose more money. So that is one of the ways you can actually come out of it. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Of that part settled, or do you have another question? So if you have a question, just raise your hand, click on the raise hand button, and I will allow you to speak. So we have a few more minutes. Questions? Anybody with questions, or you have a contribution or anything?
I have a question, sir.
Okay, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for this opportunity and thank you for the lecture, sir. So my question is, when you're talking about um not changing skills, like not changing strategy when probably you're in a drawdown, I want to ask that, but can we improve on our strategy? You know, at times you might be using some strategy and then probably you are having a consistent loss, and probably you see someone or you see another strategy probably similar to yours, and then there is an improvement in it. I want to ask that, can we improve on our strategy, sir?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, I talked about not joining the cycle of losing trader, because the cycle of losing trader is whenever they have a lose, they will learn new strategy. They will have a lose again. They will learn new strategy. They will have a lose. So that cycle itself is what you call the endless cycle. It doesn't make someone a top trader. But whenever you have a lose, that's why I said that you need to review your strategy. Okay, ask question, why did I have a lose? What happens? Is there anything I want to improve? Yeah, because drawdowns is actually a way to help you to develop yourself to come back. Is a way to help you to develop yourself to become a good and a better trader. So whenever you have a losing streaks, you are one of your work, or because we talked about how to manage it, we talked about review, is that you need to go and check the strategy, what happens, then try to work on it, work on your edge. Okay, this is where I made a mistake, so improve. As a forex trader, I don't think there should be a time you should not be learning, because every forex trader is a learner, is a student. You must continue to learn. You can't say I have learned all I need to know. If you say that, then that is ego. And the moment you begin to have ego and self-confidence, losing will come to you very fast, because you will see that you begin to lose. Because whenever you have an ego, you will be like, okay, I don't want market to hit stop loss. The moment you begin to say word like, I don't want market to hit stop loss, market should not hit stop loss, that particular time you are beginning to have egos. So as a trader, we are a learner, we are a student. We must always learn and study the market and also our mind. So when you have a losing trade, it's not like you are, okay, let's say for example, you are trading smart money. Okay, smart money and ICT is kind of correlating here, because ICT took out of smart money. Yeah, so it's kind of correlating. But let's say you are an ICT trader, you trade using smart money or ICT, then you have a losing streak. Then you now move from ICT to harmonic wave. You now go to harmonic wave, or you go to indicators. You now start looking at MA and EMA. So that one is what I'm talking about. That is a very big disadvantage. You are now out of your zone. You are now out of your circle. You already start another journey entirely. So when you have a losing streaks, if you are using ICT or smart money, you have the right to learn and improve yourself on why you take the lose. So I think, am I able to answer your question, sir?
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir. So anybody with questions? We have a few more minutes left. Anybody with questions? Just click on the raise up hand button and I will allow you to talk. Anybody with questions? Okay, in the absence of no questions, in the absence of no question, I hope we all understand our today's topic, and one of the things that will make us a good trader is ability to be able to do the things we study, the things we read, and the things we know. Because don't forget, one of the key words is that to be a good and standard forex trader, you need to have the ability to control your mind, to have control over your mind and your emotions. Because your emotional discipline is your superpower. That's where the whole work is. And you need to understand that the battlefield is not on the chart, it's on your mind. The chart has nothing to, it has nothing. The chart has no power. You can see that, oh, why am I losing? Why am I losing? It's not about the chart, it's about your mind, it's about who you are. So anybody with questions, or you have a contribution, or you want to say something about the topic for a few minutes? Okay, nobody with questions. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. If this message hits you home, I want you to go back to the chat today with a new mindset, not just a trader, but of a resilient, emotionally strong, and prepared warrior. So not just a trader, but of a resilient, emotionally strong, and a prepared warrior. Let us go. Let us master ourselves, and let us win long time. Was to smart FX, and I believe in your comeback. Hey bro, I believe in your comeback. I want to see you guys at the top, because today we have understood that it's not just about the charts, it's about our emotions, it's about ourselves. So you need to understand yourself and who you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, boss. Thanks so much.
Sir.